Now, I would like to invite our next speaker, and that is Mr. Vishnu Moulish, who shall be speaking on the topic how brands can leverage social media platforms for special positioning and observe user interactions for bespoke campaigns. So, Mr. Vishnu Moulish, the Vice President, Digital Product Design, UX, UI, and User Research, Management, and Product Branding, Morgan Stanley. He has a profound belief in the power of simplicity. He leads UX, UI, and digital product design at Morgan Stanley, boasting a rich fintech user experience background. His work has been featured globally, including notable campaigns for Amazon, Honda, BMW, KitKat, Puma, and The Economist. So, can we please put our hands together and welcome Mr. Vishnu Moulish?
Good afternoon, everyone. How is everyone doing? Good? Great? Super excited? Of course, nobody can be sad because we all had a delicious meal. Am I right? Am I right? Thanks for Radisson. Before we get started with the content, I just want to know how many of you had ice creams after your heavy meal? Can we have a quick show of hands? 1, 2, 3, scanning. Okay, pretty much everyone. There is one funny fact about ice creams. It is very, very, very hard to say no to an ice cream when someone offers you. Will a woman say no to an expensive diamond jewelry from Kalyan Jewelers or DBS? No. Will a man say no to a ravishing red-hot car from Ferrari brand? No. Likewise in ice creams. My friend Ramesh used to have 2 plates of chicken biryani. Believe me or not, 2 plates of chicken biryani from Mani's Dum Biryani, and he will run all the way to the ice cream counter and will ask, Bhaiya, ice cream please. Bhaiya, you look very handsome. 1 ice cream with gulab jam on top of that. Thank you very much. I'll be like, dude, are you human? Going back to the audience, a couple of people raised their hand. Can someone stand up and say, which flavor of ice cream did you have? And most importantly, why did you choose that flavor? Can we have a mic, please? I think it's a very simple question. Do not look at the person who's seated next to you and raise a hand, because I didn't ask you to agree whether life gets better after getting married. It's a simple question. Which flavor? Okay, there is one person over there. Can we have a mic? Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Tell us which flavor did you have. I know it's just a single flavor, but you can still point out which is your favorite ice cream flavor.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rajesh Yadav. I lead the contact center for Myntra. From a flavor, as you rightly said, there was only one flavor, which was vanilla. And what I prefer actually is a chocolate. While there was a syrup available, so I used it.
Thank you very much, yeah. Now, imagine in the future, if I'm getting into the world of ice cream selling business, I'm going to come back to this perfect gentleman and use this data. Now, do not underestimate the power of a simple data which is coming from the customers. Here is a very simple example which I can give you. I can build as many as use cases based on this simple, likable metric which he pointed out. For example, if I'm expanding my business operations and I would like to invest more in R&D of my food department, here is one of the food items which I'm trying, but based on the ice cream concepts. So knowing the fact that he is going to be my future customer, what I will do is that I'm going to throw an app notification on Zomato or Swiggy. Hey, why don't you check out this new food item which is based on your favorite ice cream flavor? My question to the audience is, will he order that ice cream or not? Yes or no? But, okay, first of all, you tell me whether you'll order or not. I possibly yes. Okay, that's what I want. I'll give you 50 loyalty points right away. The second interesting fact about ice cream is it speaks about variety. We got butterscotch, chocolate, vanilla. That's what I remember. Don't ask me more. And if you travel to the villages across India, we got ice creams starting with Superstar Rajinikanth ice cream, Salman Khan ice cream, Sunny Leone ice cream, and my friend Ramesh will be the first one to order that ice cream. Now, jokes apart, speaking about variety, it has left two amazing correlations. One, marketing is just like dating. First impression matters. It doesn't like repetition. It constantly looks for different forms of creativity. That's how you stand out from the crowd. Number two is we all who have assembled here are going to experience variety. In ice creams, it didn't happen, but at least in all the speeches which all the professional speakers who stood up and gave and shared their insights. So can we have a huge round of applause for all of the speakers? Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, today I put across the principle of one, which is coming from the observations of people who I have interacted with personally, deep diving into psychology, and most importantly, how you can capitalize and elevate your customer experience to the next level. It starts with a very simple story, my personal connection. This is not a story which I've gathered from textbooks. Few years back, my friend and I went for a bike trip from Bengaluru to Chennai. We stopped in a place called Ambur. I'm sure a lot of people must have heard about. What is Ambur famous for? But we didn't go there to have biryani, sorry. We stopped there just to have ice creams because mid of the year, May, Chennai is typically hot, scorching summer, just to beat the heat. We stopped in a place where they had 2 ice cream stalls. Completely strange, but I was more curious to explore those 2 stalls. Stall 1 said, only one ice cream. This is the name of a stall, believe me. Stall 2 said, Ice Creams Plaza, with the pictures of Deepika Padukone, Nayanthara, with all the famous heroines. My friend was more interested on that, but I was more curious to understand what made the owner, the stall 1 owner, choose the name as only one ice cream. Out of curiosity, when I asked him, he said, Sir, I do not have money to afford more transparent ice box containers. I got money just to have one transparent ice box container, and he's selling only vanilla. I asked him, why vanilla? There are a lot of ice cream flavors, is that right? But he said, when people are on travel, people get into the stage of decision fatigue, which means you have already made a lot of decisions starting from your home and all the way to the travel. And if you want to have ice creams, we don't have time to just go through all the different flavors. Of course, some people would be interested, but for the large part, he said, I want people to come straight to me and choose the only flavor which I got, which is of top quality. And the beauty part of that conversation is that he said, looking at the number plates, whether it's going to be KA, MH, PB, whatever it is, he used to greet that particular customer using their local language. If you're from Karnataka, if your car is coming from Karnataka, he used to greet that customer using that local language, Maga. If you're probably from Kerala, he used to greet using that local language. So, by this means, he's trying to build the concept of emotions by just using a simple formula. Less decision fatigue, but more on building emotions. Whereas the other guy, he was purely betting on one thought process. That is, I've got a variety of ice creams, and that's my selling point. But to be honest, the sales of this guy, the stall 1, was completely more. We had a lot of people approaching him due to word of mouth compared to the stall 2 guy. Just one simple item over there, but he has built the concept of relationships over there. And marketing, it's all about building relationships down the line. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, today I put across the principle of one, and it stems from a simple writing theory. I'm an avid writer. I used to write quotes every day. I used to understand how each and every concept of writing works. Believe me or not, if you stick to this principle, no matter what, whether it's going to be email communications or blog writing or novel writing, this is going to do wonders. The simple phrase is one idea per paragraph, one thought per sentence. I repeat, one idea per paragraph, one thought per sentence. We have all grown up studying different kinds of books in our school days. This much in size, I used to use one of my science books as pillows and sleep on my classrooms as well. But when it comes to professional environment, you do not have more time to capture the user's attention. People who write textbooks are not avid marketers, but when you're on the industry, you need to know the pulse of your reader, how far you can engage them. And that's how the principle of one, it's gonna be capitalized in the marketing space. I've got a couple of techniques where you can leverage this concept to multiple different aspects. Number one is exclusivity. I'm sure you must have heard about this term, being limited edition, not catering to the mass appeal, because we aren't celebrities where we're constantly looking for 10,000 likes, 12,000 likes, no such aspects like that. We are professionals and each of us are shining in our respective fields, which means we are already exclusive. So in marketing, you are more likely to pull in the customer if you're being exclusive in your advertising strategies. A simple print ad which communicates as many messages as possible, it's not exclusive. You target a particular group of people, convey a single message, it's going to do wonders because people retain one thing at a moment. And this is one of the reasons why I did not have slides in my presentation, because I know the attention of a human span is just 8 seconds, less than a goldfish. So intentionally, I decided not to have presentation because I just want to make people pay attention to the insights which I've gathered from over here. So being exclusive is one of the ways to stand out. The second is cocktail party effect. Gain Skills Media, are you arranging any party today? Okay, no one is actually responding, that's fine. Cocktail party effect is nothing but our brains are more likely to zoom in personal information. We saw a lot of slides right from the morning, but I know how a user would approach a particular site, how would they view the content being a UX guy. Our brains are more focused on tuning into informations which are already known, that is personal informations, especially the names. And being a marketer, it makes more sense to speak to a customer by putting across his names. Hi, Peter. That's how you greet when someone logs into their application. Hi, Peter, this is your playlist. And it motivates them to share the entire playlist on social media as well. So the objective of this cocktail party effect is being personally connected to every other user, every other consumer as well. Even now, when I speak to the users in Morgan Stanley, what I will do is I used to grab their nickname somehow, and it works to some extent. If I'm just rolling out surveys for conducting user interviews, when I send out a bulk mail, nobody actually responds. So I took an extra step, that is somehow trying to get a personal connect with them and getting to know the nicknames by talking to the managers. And you know what? When I ping someone, the next response which I get from them is just a smiley. Hey, how do you know my nicknames? Because your manager said so. So I've built in that relationship with me, that is the stakeholder relationship, and now they are more receptive to my user surveys, and that's going to shape my UX designs as well. Number 3 is how design is going to capitalize on the principle of one. I'm working on a product, I shouldn't reveal it because being a bank, everything is confidential, where the user base is 8,000. And I'm the only designer who's taking care of it, so the amount of pressure which I have it's humongous. It's very, very hard to satisfy all the 8,000 users who are using that particular application. But what I do is that we used to conduct focus group sessions every Monday, 7:30 p.m. IST, and I used to invite all the users. People who are power users are more likely to join that call because they are more vocal in nature, more participative. The first thing which I have is that, tell me the list of pain points. I'm sure they would list out many pain points. But being in an IT field, my job is to ensure, okay, I see a pain point. I can translate that into a mock-up wireframe or a prototype. But is that going to be easily developed by a developer? That's where the trick lies, because the development cost is always high when we are trying to accumulate more features. So what I did was, I tried to pick similar problems coming from different users. Let's say user 1 said, I have a problem in viewing a particular report. I'm just giving a simple example. Now, I cannot talk to a manager and say that this is a problem faced by the user. I'm coming up with this mock-up. Can we have this one fixed in our next prod release? He will say no. Tell me the maximum number of users who are falling into the same plate. What I did was, applying the principle of one, I tried to gather clusters. People with similar problems, that is cluster 1. People with another problem, that is cluster 2. And now, I've got a solid KPI saying that 9 out of 10 users have a problem in this approach. Now, I can just lift my collars, come up with a prototype, showcase to the developers, and proudly say that this is something which may have to fix, or else the users are not going to like it. So the approach which I've taken here, it's in the form of clusters, but I've approached that concept one by one using breakout rooms. Because when people confess problems, not everyone is pretty vocal during the calls. Something happens by surveys, sometimes it happens just by the calls as well. Next, coming to the concept of tribe tailing. Has anyone heard about this tribe tailing? Has anyone in the marketing world? No one? It's a very simple phrase if you just split that particular word into two separate things, tribe and tailing. Tribe is a group of people, and tailing, it's how you act upon this entire process. So tribe tailing is a process where you address to a particular segment of people. If you want me to divide this entire venue into 2 sections, and their set of needs are completely different, what I will do is that I'm going to come up with a solution, I'm going to come up with a product which is more catered to them. As I said, clusters, and I'm going to speak the language which they have used, build the concept of tribes, build community, build forums where these people can act on it. Whereas I won't be speaking to these group of people if their set of needs are completely drastic in nature. So one advantage in tribe tailing concept is that, as I said, we aren't celebrities. In marketing, there is no one-size-fits-all approach. I approach each and every thing as more of a bespoke nature, because everyone is unique, everyone needs are completely different, and that's how I work. Mention Analytics is one of the platforms where you can get to know the popular hashtags on Instagram. Let's say ash, radisson blue stars is the hashtag, and I wanted to know, when I hit that hashtag, what are the different kinds of pictures which I can see it on Instagram. If I'm able to derive some commonality from all these pictures, how I can do it. When I see these kind of occurrences repeated again and again, what I will do is that I will get a sense of, okay, there is a tribe which is evolving from all these conferences. Why can't I come up with a product which can be used by all these kinds of folks? Because I have a solid proof from the pictures, right? These kind of people have got the same kind of behavior, either in the form of clothes, the way of speaking, how they use different kinds of products and things like that. I know we are almost on time, but this is all about the tribe tailing. So being niche is one of the key things in the world of marketing. If you don't stand for anything, you will fall for anything. That's what I would like to say. I know, just 1 minute. I do not have visiting cards, but one last question. Can someone say how many I's are there in Gain Skills Media? How many I's? How many I's are there in the word Gain Skills Media? 1, 2, 3. 3 is the right answer, so which means I am actually known for 3 simple things, because that's what I do the most. That is UX, marketing, and advertising. Last but not the least, marketing is something very close to my heart. And there are various articles claiming that AI is going to replace a lot of professionals, especially content creators, marketers. But I challenge AI just by saying one thing. Until you match the thought process of any marketer, until you match the problem-solving skills of any UXer, you are still one step down. AI can't replace any human, so probably people are using AI can replace any human. So until you match it, it's going to be eat, sleep, marketing, repeat. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vishnu, for that wonderful session. I would like to invite Ms. Reena Evans, Senior Director of Operations, ACO, to do the honors. Thank you, Ms. Reena, for doing the honors. And thank you so much, Mr. Vishnu, for that lovely session.